Hey everybody, I'm Chrissy.
And this is Joe.
And welcome to The Married Life. We are here to help you build a stronger marriage, to create stronger families, to form stronger communities.
Yep, that's right. And so on Chrissy's last blog post, she talked about things that your husband wants. And so I know for a fact that that's true, what she wrote on there. And it was really good because the fourth thing, and she has a whole series of this out of 5, the fourth thing is that your husband wants a friendship with you. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to dive a little bit deeper on that. But in case you haven't read her post, go back, go to themarriedlife.org. You can click blog. You can read them all. You can read the last one. It talks about friendship, more about that. Also, we have coaching on there. We also have more blog posts, more content, and then also where you can donate and help, again, fund The Married Life, and everything that comes in, 10%, we give back to single moms. So you can go to themarriedlife.org and give today.
Yeah. I think that it's really important for men to read the blog too. Mm-hmm. Like just to skim it, just because, one, you could share it with your wife, but also this is what I really want. Well, I think it's like, here's a perspective from another woman that says it more eloquently than maybe I do. But like, here is what I'm trying to communicate. Instead of just trying to say it your way, sometimes you need another woman's perspective. So I just want to encourage men out there, like the women's blog is for women, but go ahead and glance at it. You might want to share it with your wife.
Yeah.
But to continue on with the friendship, I think that it's really important. So you need to evaluate where you are in your friendship with your spouse. Maybe you are really good friends. Maybe you guys have a really good friendship. Maybe you're newlyweds. That's how you guys started off, and that's really great. Maybe it's not where it should be. Maybe you're trying to strengthen it. You don't really know how. You're trying to work on your communication. Maybe you're friends, but you want to be like best friends. Maybe your husband or your spouse, whoever always wants to go out to hang with his buddies, but maybe you want to be that buddy. You're friends, but you're not the best friend. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you guys see yourself as frenemies.
Yeah.
I hope that's not it, but every once in a while.
Yeah. And sometimes that's just really how it is, that when you fail to communicate properly, you just begin to have, what's the word? Just bitterness that grows towards that person, anger, whatever it is. And before you know it, you're lashing out, you're blowing up at them, you're pointing the finger at them more than you used to or ever did.
Yeah.
The things that you used to be attracted to, now you're disgusted by.
Yeah.
And it's true, you become frenemies. Like, we're friendly with each other in front of others. We're friendly sometimes in the family, blah, blah. But man, when it's you and I, it's like, put on the boxing gloves, and again, that's not the reason you got married, right? We didn't get married to be frenemies. We got married to be best friends.
Right.
And that's what we want to talk about today, because in the beginning of our relationship, we weren't even friends. We weren't frenemies. We were like acquaintances, like I hit on you since I was like in 7th grade and I was trying to get with you and you didn't want none of this. I don't know what you were missing, but little perverted Joe. That's what you were missing.
Gosh.
But anyways, then we hooked up. And then we started to like become friends with benefits. And then we became something more, but then we fought a lot. And it was just like,
wow, we really had it all together, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It was very...
When you describe it like that.
It's just how it was.
It's terrible.
It was bad. And so, we got comfortable. You say it all the time, we lost our manners in marriage.
No, I think that's my thing is when you look at a waitress or a waiter or whoever, and you have more respect or more honor, or, you use nicer words to them than you do your spouse, there's something wrong. So that's just like an easy way to like evaluate, where are you? We all fight. I'm not saying that. We all say harsh words every once in a while, but for the most part, are you treating people that you don't know better than your spouse? We became very disrespectful and we didn't honor each other at all. I mean, it was really bad. But as we fell in love with Jesus, as we were able to kind of look in the mirror and reflect on that relationship. Like that relationship with Jesus should mirror that of you and your spouse. And so as we were able to do that, a true friendship was able to form, and I think we became best friends.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, we started to become friends, and again, it doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're newlyweds, been married for 10 years, wherever you're at, it's good to always look like an eval. How is our friendship in our marriage? Are we acquaintances? Are we roommates? Are we friendly? Are we friends? Are we part of each other's inner circle? Are we best friends? Are we BFFs? And so something I would even have you ask yourself right now, listening to this podcast, is just saying, like, where are you on that friend chart, with you and your spouse, from all the way from acquaintance to all the way BFF, like from 1 to 10, where are you on that range? Because the goal is to always be getting closer to that BFF. And if you see yourself trickling the other way, you have to start working at that.
Yeah.
And, it's like we see it all the time with health, right? Like, and it's probably, I guess it's really easy. You step on a scale and you see like, oh, that number's going up. I was hoping it was going to go down. And it's like, we have to remember to step on the scale of friendship.
That's good.
With our spouse and to see where we at. Are we getting healthier or are we getting worse?
Yeah.
And Proverbs 17:17 says, a friend loves at all times. And man, that speaks such volumes in marriage, because again, sometimes, like you said, we do not speak kind words to our spouse and we don't sound like we love all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 60-40, maybe it's 70-30, and it's like, but we say it all the time. In marriage, it's 100-0. Even when you give 0%, I go 100.
Yeah.
When you give 100% on the days that I feel 0, like you're going all in.
Yeah.
And a friend loves at all times, and we have to get that in us all times. Now, this doesn't mean that there's never conflict. This doesn't mean that there's not differing opinions. Like, we are still people. And like, you have issues with friends. Like my buddy Chase is a Michigan fan. Like he has problems. I don't get it. I feel for the dude, I'm praying for him, that he would get saved and go Irish, you know what I mean?
Gosh.
But we're still friends,
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing in marriage. And that was just a funny, a little haha right there, but but there are real issues in marriage that we have different opinions, right? Like you might think, again, raise the kids this way. I might say this way, you know, like you want to do this with our money. I want to do that with our money.
Right.
You might think this is the proper way to communicate. I think this is. And so again, it's getting on the same page and being friendly with one another, but that doesn't mean that there's not conflict. And here's the thing. So many times in life, we get so crazy about conflict. Like it's such a bad thing. All conflict is creating a place for clear communication.
That's really good.
That's what conflict is.
Yeah.
Creating that place for clear communication. It doesn't mean that we are, again, putting on the boxing gloves or even taking them off. Some people are taking them off. They're like, no, I want to
bloody
make them bleed.
knuckles.
Yeah.
No, I think that's really good. It's not that there's no conflict. It's not that there's no opinions. That's actually really good. You're not the same person. You cannot marry the same person. That would, one, be a very boring marriage.
I would hate my life.
If you married yourself?
You.
I know what you were thinking. You were thinking physical, but that's not what I meant. But now you got me all thinking weird.
Sorry.
But like you said, it's not that you don't have opinions. I hope that in your marriage, you guys have different opinions, because that's the beauty of it. You can do more, you can create more. If you continue to be the same person, like I said, it's just going to be boring. But you have to remember, when you do have conflict, when you do have these differing opinions, you have to check your heart behind your words. There should always be love behind your words.
Yep.
You have to recognize that friendship building takes a lot of work and a lot of time. Not that it's time consuming. We have to understand that it's not time consuming. You don't have to spend hours and hours gazing into each other's eyes and just sitting and getting to know each other.
That's what I do with most of my friends.
You and Chase.
So me and Chase became best friends. We're like, hey, let's just sit and gaze in each other's eyes.
I mean, it was hanging out and doing all that stuff, but now that you're married and have kids, No.
I thought you were talking about Chase still.
No.
I was like, no, it wasn't.
In marriage.
Oh.
In marriage, yes, that's part of it. But what I'm saying is it's not all of it. So we're going to kind of talk through some things that are going to help you kind of reestablish that friendship. Just
For sure.
different checkpoints that you should look at and make sure that these are a part of your marriage. And number one is you need to establish a time each week to spend quality time together. And then guard that time with your life.
Yep. So
with your life.
What we do every Friday, like even this past week, we did something on Friday night with a group. We went to a game night. And so my mom even asked, hey, I know you're doing that Friday. Do you want me to watch the girls on Thursday so you can do your date night on Thursday? And we had, I think, a marriage coaching session that night, so we didn't do it anyways. But anyways, that is something that's such a value to us that my mom even knows it.
Yeah.
When do you want me to watch the girls? And the reason is, and we talked about this, is it doesn't mean that it's a super romantic night every time. It's how we maintain our friendship is by dating each other. Yeah. Like that's so important to do. And you even talk about in your blog, and I won't, give it away. People can go in there, but even the things that I want to do with you instead of a friend, because we are at that level of like, you're my best friend, you know, like that's where we want to be and maintain that. And that's why we think dates are so important.
Yeah. And so we're going to break this up just very quickly on what that establishing time together looks like. A date night is just a very small portion of it. But on the daily, there's things that you can do. You want to text. Yep. I know that this is a really crazy time. Some people are working together in the home like we are. Some people are still separate. So if you're separate and you don't talk to your spouse like face to face all the time, shoot each other texts. Like you need to laugh together. Yeah. It's the little things. It's the jokes. It's the inside jokes. I hope to be a part of one of those one day. Voice memos. That's so good. Yes. I would say sexting, but I'm telling you, I refuse to do it because that one time that I do, I will send it to the wrong person.
No. And see, that's why
I can't do that.
That's why I'm going to find the podcast with the wife that's like, no, you have to sext.
I can't. Yeah. Like it is my worst nightmare. I know the one time I do it.
Who cares? Who cares?
It's going to be,
let it loose, girl.
Somebody's going to get it and it's not going to be good.
But even like a voice memo.
But if that's your thing, go for it.
Right. Send sexy voice memos to your husband, tell him like, man, I can't wait to see you. And nothing.
Okay.
No wife has ever said that.
Stop it. So that's just like daily things. So they're little non-time consuming things. That's going to take you 2 seconds on a lunch break, on a 15-minute break, whatever it is.
Right, because you text your friends throughout the day, text your spouse throughout the day. And then when it comes to weekly and bi-weekly, that's when we're talking about dates, right? Like if you can't go on a weekly date, try for a bi-weekly date, go to the ball game, go to the movies, I say go to the ball game.
Well, you can't do that.
No, sit down and watch a ball game with nobody in the stands right now. I don't know.
Go watch one on YouTube from a couple years ago when life was normal.
Yeah, exactly. Eat a messy burrito together. Go bowling. Bowling is open. I took the girls there on a date, and then we went this past week. Bowling is open, and here's the thing: like,
you can't spread germs. Bowling.
Yeah, I don't know. Bowling is a germ in itself. And so I don't like bowling, and I'm not sure Chrissy likes bowling, but it is what it is. But my kids like bowling, and I want to date my kids, and so I took them bowling, and they thought it was the most amazing thing ever, And so, anyways, even when it comes to dates and spending time with each other, listen, guys, it doesn't mean that it's always your favorite thing to do. There's gonna be times that you're just gonna walk through Target.
Yep.
Because that's what your wife wants to do, and you know what you do? You just walk with her.
Yeah, walk through Target.
You walk through it. Quarterly, Chrissy and I try to do this when we do like a getaway. And you can start right now. Like, don't say, I don't have a sitter. I don't have someone. I don't have, a family member who can watch them, whatever. Like, start researching it. Like, I mean, there's websites where you can look and find a babysitter, that are, has the background check, fully trained, et cetera, et cetera. Divide the kids between family members, we're going to, California in a couple weeks, and we're leaving the girls with my mom, but then Ryan and Mackenzie might help out too, and then we're taking Ellis with us. Kara might jump in and help with the littles, so it's just, again, dividing that, because so many times we make so many excuses.
It's true.
But if it was a guy's night out, you would not be making an excuse. And it doesn't have to be long. Just go for a night in the city. Like Chicago is like 40 minutes from us, you know what I mean? And so it's like just a simple getaway for the night, for the weekend, whatever it takes. Like doing something quarterly matters.
Yep.
And then something yearly, which again, we try to do this. We try to do a vision retreat. If we can't do it yearly, we at least do it bi-yearly, where every other year we go on a vision retreat. We've talked about it in the past. We'll probably do another podcast on that. But we do something fun, you know, we go to Chicago, we go snowboarding, we go to a cabin, we go to, you know, New York City. Right now, flights are cheap. You know, I just got a Southwest thing saying like flights are $29, you know, like go on a trip, like book it right now. We talked to a couple the other day and they just booked something, I think for the Bahamas or somewhere they're going, you know.
I wanna go there.
Yeah. So, an overnighter, like with your wife, plan those and make them purposeful. That's why we talk about the vision retreat.
Yeah.
Like we want it to be purposeful because we know God put us together for a reason. And so we have to start going on that discussion and praying about it and seeking God, like, why did he put us together? What does this look like?
Yep. No, that's good.
So we're going to keep running through these because I already know we're already a few minutes. We're already 16 minutes in. We try to keep these podcasts at 20 minutes. So we're going to fly through this. 4 minutes. Here we go. We're only on
Listen
number 2
fast,
of
people.
10. Yeah. Yeah. Just put it on double speed.
I hate that.
I was just kidding because it was a joke, because it doesn't mean I'm going to be still the 20 minutes. Anyways. All right. Explore the interests of your spouse. Like Chrissy has different interests than I do, you know? And so we say this, like your spouse should be the book that you're always studying.
Yeah.
So again, if I want to maintain that friendship with you, I should know what you like and what you dislike.
Yeah.
And want to do more of the things that you like, you know? And again, just studying it, because again.
Well, think about it. When you were dating and you were just friends, you just wanted to be with each other, and it didn't matter what you did.
That's
so
right.
you made that sacrifice. I'll do whatever you want.
Yep.
I'll be wherever you're going to be. But now we kind of settle and we don't. And we're always learning and growing. And so I am not who I was when we got married. And so my likes are different. And so that's what, like you said,
you
always
used to like to sext. Now you don't.
Sext? I'd never sext. One, because that wasn't a thing. And our Nextels.
You mean on our Nextels? Chirp, chirp, baby.
Our little flip phone. I can only play Snake on that mug.
Girl, you used to flip it so good.
Oh my gosh. But learn what your spouse likes. It's probably something different than you probably remember in the past.
Yeah.
So number 2.
If you're not
keep
like
going.
Sherlock Holmes and not good to research, ask them.
Yeah.
You know, like ask them. It
Hey,
should be
what do
pretty
you
easy.
wanna do?
Yeah, exactly.
No. Number 3, use conflict to sharpen and purify your friendship. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another.
Again, we talked about that. You know, like conflict is not a bad thing. It's going to make us better.
Yep.
It's going to make our marriage better.
As long as the love is behind your words,
and
you
what do we
have
say,
to remember that.
And what do we say when we have conversations with each other or with others?
I don't know if we say it, but we think it.
Yeah.
I love you. You love me. I want what's best for you, and you want what's best for me.
Yep.
Sometimes you just have to remind yourself that. Like,
Yeah.
I am going into this conversation because I love this person.
Yep.
This person loves me,
Yep.
and I want what's best for this marriage.
Yep. 100%. Sometimes we forget that we are at war, but not with each other.
Yeah.
You're not my enemy.
Yeah.
The enemy's my enemy.
Right.
There is an enemy in this marriage, but it's not you. It's
Yeah.
the devil. And so again, I just have to remember that. So when you and I battle, it's that ironing, you know, sharpening. It's not ironing. We're ironing, you know. I do like.
This is so easy.
Yeah, I do like my clothes not wrinkled. So no, but it's iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
We're, you know, and
That's
again,
good.
when iron sharpens iron, things are grinding against each other, you know.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, and not that kind of grinding, you know what I mean?
Would you knock it off?
Yeah. Somebody's in the mood.
Oh
All right, here we go.
gosh.
Accountability. Number 4, accountability and mutual respect. That matters so much, and that includes the area of sexuality and finances and your relationships. You know, all this should be priorities.
Yep.
We need to make sure that we are accountable to one another and respect when it comes to, because again, like we know financially, I'm the free spirit and you're the nerd. And so if I just do what I want, I'm going to mess up our friendship.
Yeah.
Because we need to be good with our finances. But if we just did what you want, we wouldn't have a life.
It wouldn't be fun.
No.
We would have a life.
We would have all
It'd
this
be
money in the
boring.
bank and we would just be sitting staring at each other in our living room, not doing anything fun at all, you know? So
I would be offended, but I'm not.
Romans 12:10 says, love one another with brotherly affection.
That's good.
Outdo one another in showing honor.
Yep.
Like what if we just stopped the podcast right now and we said we are going to outdo honoring our spouses?
Yeah.
Like because that is some friendship right there. When a friend honors you, it's like, man, I don't think I deserve that. And, they're just above and beyond. And if we did that for each other.
No, that's good. Number 5 is establish daily habits, especially praying together. This is so good. And it is not complicated.
No.
Do not. I mean, even the Bible talks about like the Pharisees having all these words and it meant nothing. And so just the simple prayer, Joe and I literally do it every night. And it's just being thankful for each other and thankful for our day. It's just the simplest things. But Luke...
And I was going to say, guys, it's awkward at first, like I'm a pastor, I'm in ministry, and it's easy to get on stage and pray over congregation, but then taking your wife by the hand and praying for her, it's
intimate and it's vulnerable.
Yes. And that's what it is. And us as men, we're not used to that.
Yeah.
And so to get there, and again, it strengthens your friendship, especially when it moves past just a moment of praying at night, but moves into the daily of knowing that something's happening hard at home, hard at work, whatever, and one another praying for each other. Yeah. It grows you so much.
No, that's really good. I was just going to read Luke 5:16. It says, but he would withdraw to desolate places and pray, taking that time. I did that today. Like I told you that I just needed a minute. It's been crazy around here. I took like less than an hour. I took a nap and I prayed and I vacuumed out my car. A little practical, little here and there. Philippians 4:6 says, do not be anxious about everything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. Literally, I just said it. Pray at night with your spouse. And just be thankful.
Yeah, because there's times that, again, you could let your anxiety run you over.
Yeah.
But instead, don't be anxious. Take your spouse's hand and pray. Because, again, it's going to build a friendship, not just with you and your spouse, but with God.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want that 3 strands,
Yeah.
Me, my spouse, and God.
Yep, that's good. And it's compound interest.
Yes.
That's what we're saying. Like, it's not complicated every single night.
Yep.
It's not this long prayer. It's very simple, but it's compound interest. So when you do it every night, it just brings you closer.
Yep. Number 6, affirm one another every day. And this is so important. Chrissy and I mean, actually the whole way that we started the married life was literally by writing notes to each other and putting it in front of a coffee cup. And then we're like, we're going to actually, create these mugs that people can write on, et cetera, et cetera. And literally it built out to this, a podcast, a website, coaching, YouTube channel, like all the above. And it was just because we started with affirming one another.
Yep.
Because again, as friends, you want to affirm your friend, let them, you want to encourage your friend. 1 Thessalonians says, therefore encourage one another and build one another up. We are called to do that. Like the Bible, God himself, he's like, dude, encourage your brother, build him up. What we have a tendency to do in marriage is we have a tendency to be demolition men instead of builders. We're called to be contractors. We need to build each other up, not tear each other down.
That's good. And especially in today's world, everything is so degrading and demeaning and tearing people down and comparison and all that stuff. Like, if you think it, just say it.
Yep.
Like, if you're thankful for something about your spouse, or you think something, or your spouse looks good that day, it is literally the little things.
It is.
That, again, compound interest.
Yep.
Yep. And then the last thing is communication. And if I had a quarter for every time we talked about communication, I would be a millionaire.
Boom.
And so it's just so important. It says most experts agree that regular communication builds a friendship that weathers the storms of life.
Yep.
And I think communication is so important on the daily, and incorporating all this stuff about encouraging one another and all of that. So back to all the conflict stuff in the beginning, when you have those conversations of conflict, it's easier. You know that your spouse loves you and is for you because every day they're encouraging you and they're telling you. And so when that moment comes of conflict, it's easier. And so, all of this, there's a lot. Go back, really study, take notes, how you can be specific for your spouse in these different areas. And I know that every family is different. Every family doesn't look like ours. Don't make an excuse. Yep. I know that there are blended families out there. There are families that have really crazy hours at work, and they're like, I don't have time for this stuff. I work 12 to 12. I work midnights. I do all this stuff. There's probably some people out there that have illnesses that are really taking tolls on the family. Kids are going crazy. We understand that every family looks so different. And I don't want you to finish this podcast and say, I can't do all this stuff. It won't fit. No, you need to say, how can I fit this thing in? How can I fit that thing in? How can I encourage my spouse? How can I do this and how can I do that?
Yeah. I think just to sum it up, it would be to say, what kind of friend would I want?
Yeah.
You know, and what kind of friend do I want to be?
Yep.
Because if you're a friend to someone else other than your spouse, better than you are to your spouse, you got to, again, get on that scale and see, how can I be a better friend to my spouse?
Yeah.
Your spouse should be your best friend.
Yep.
Your spouse, like, that is the goal.
Yep.
And when that starts slipping, I have to readjust. I have to realign. Something's off, you know? So yeah, again, what kind of friend do you want to be, you know, and what kind of friend do you want to have?
Yeah.
And have that conversation with your spouse.
Yep. No, that's so good. So go back, see how this can fit in your family, in your marriage, make it work.
Yep.
All right. So we are here to help you guys build stronger marriages so you can create a stronger family and form stronger communities. I hope this blessed you guys today, and we will see you next week on the podcast, on YouTube.
Yep.
On all the things.
On all the things.
Have a good week.
See you guys.